Cinnabon sleeping in 4K. Yeah, this is going to be an HK and 4K video. You having a good slumber, buddy? You having a good slumber? Oh, it looks like it, yeah. I'm going to do a little show and tell today. H&K 416 magazines. Magazines to a gun I don't even own. Don't really even plan on owning one. Unless I win the lottery. Oh, he just winked at me. Yeah, that's right. Maybe that he's telling me that, yeah, I'll get you one, Daddy. Wouldn't that be just a pleasant surprise? Yeah. Since I don't have an HK 416, the next best thing is the HK Picture Bible. We'll find some pictures of it to show you what we're talking about. It's going to be show and tell and story time today. The HK 416's gas system is a derivative of the G36's gas system. In fact, they share the same exact gas piston. Here we go. This is an earlier one, and this is used by law enforcement and military all over the world. I think Norway uses it, and the United States Marines use it under the designation the M27. This is the 20-inch barrel version. Pretty cool. Now, if I could have one, it would be this version. 10-inch version. Pretty cool. You see these in movies quite a bit too. Basically, what HK did is they wanted to have something that's familiar to Americans, especially, which is, the AR. So they took a Colt AR, or I forget if it was Colt or just a standard direct impingement AR, and they adapted it for their gas piston system. That was their prototype for this weapon. Then they decided to produce their own from the ground up, which is good. Of course, you can see they heavily influenced by the conventional AR-15. This is a cutaway G36/SL8 that you've seen before. It's almost complete. I still have a few more parts yet. But if you look closely, that metallic piece behind the handguard there, got the pusher rod, the gas piston, the gas block. The 416 uses that same exact gas piston. So what happens is you fire it, the gas from the bullet go through the barrel, excess gas goes up and hits that piston, and that punches that op rod, and that basically punches the carrier backwards, and the spring will carry it forward and it loads the next round. And here's the gas piston. This is the G36/416 gas piston. They are identical, one for one. You can use one on the other. Of course, for the G36, this is the long version. If you had a G36C or K, those are the shorter versions. They use a different type of piston that's just shorter. But the 416, all versions with the exception of the very, very limited production HK 416C, uses this gas piston here. On the top, we have the HK G36K. That one technically is an SL81/G36K conversion SBR. On the bottom, we have Colt M16A1 upper on an AR-15A2 lower. So if you were to combine these weapons, you would get something that resembles an HK 416. Many would say you take the best of both worlds and put them together. Essentially, the 416 is the bottom rifle with a gas system adapted from the top rifle there. So you have the reliability of a gas piston system and something that's very familiar and also a very good weapon. And now we have the meat and potatoes of this video. So the top row there, we have the H&K SA80, I believe it is. That is a British weapon that H&K improved significantly. And also by doing so, they introduced the steel magazine. This is called an HK High Reliability magazine. These are very valuable. They're heavy, they're steel. You've got the HK branding on the bottom. These are excellent magazines. The only reason I have one below it is because they're the same, with the exception of this one was made during the assault weapons ban. So at the time, it would have been technically illegal for somebody that's non-law enforcement or basically government or export use, whatever, to possess this, but that has long since expired. After the steel magazine, they use these for the 416. It's pretty much probably the most common mag associated with it. And then they introduced this. These are out for, I would say, 10 years. No longer in production. There's a few problems with these. They can crack, they can eject rounds when dropped, which any AR mag can do, but these ones definitely did that too. This is really close to a G36 magazine. The magazine that you saw in the G36 previous, I believe it's the same material. It feels the same, it even sounds the same. These, it's really funny because you could buy these for under $20 all day long for years. And since they stopped production, this has really become a collector mag, and they can go anywhere from $50 plus just for this. This next one is the second generation version of the previous one, as the name implies, Gen 2 PM. I forget the name, but there's a manufacturer in the US that HK kind of copied their design. So these were also fairly short-lived. And the next one, we have the current one, as of the recording of this video, the Gen 3. These are fairly hard to find. You can usually find these for like $80, if you can find one. It's a black one. These are also seen in the prototypes, the HK433, which, oh my goodness, the HK433, if you combine an XM8 with the G36 with the 416, you have that. It's crazy, but it's pretty interesting. It's only a prototype, so they never produced it. We have different colors. We have RAL 8000. Some people call it baby poop. We also have sand. These three mags are identical, just different colors in the die. So one of the really cool features about this magazine, as you can see, on either side of the mag and the rear, part of the spring is painted orange, and it's pretty self-explanatory why that is. It's a round count indicator. So you've seen the G36 mags and the Gen 1's 416 mags have a translucent body. Instead of having a translucent body, which is inherently weaker than a solid plastic, you have a little window in there. And the window, whether or not it's even intact, doesn't really impede much function unless it was totally cracked open and then introduced debris into the mag. But anyway, I'll go ahead and load 5 rounds in there and show you where the little mark's going to be, just to demonstrate. So we got 5 rounds loaded in here. If we were to pin this at 5 rounds, it would be a Canadian legal version. To our friends to the north, well, depending where you're at in Michigan, it could be to any direction, really. But anyway, so as you can see, it's at 5. It's an approximate location. And HK being HK, typical of German engineers, if you're looking at the back, the indications by 5:15 to 25 also correspond with the notches in the rear. Very well thought out. This is a 30-round magazine, by the way. So when it's fully loaded, there's 30 rounds in there. We have an old school vintage retro Colt 20-round magazine. These will work in the same weapons, or they should anyway. This one's straight. This one starts out straight because the mag wells are from the same weapon, and then it's curved. This is pretty cool because these two magazines represent roughly 50 years of change for the same weapon system. So that's the mags in a nutshell for the HK416. Also, for fun fact, or I guess fun is relative, the HK416D is the weapon that is believed to have killed Osama bin Laden. And that's a wrap for this video. It's something different, but I wanted you all to know what the HK416 is, and the magazine specifically. Again, magazines of a gun I don't even have. Also, HK416 magazines also work with other ARs. They're supposed to anyway, but just like AK, some of them fit, some don't. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.